Really? Guys, welcome to Live with Kyle and Alex. We're so excited for tonight's show, and I cannot wait to get it started. Just for a little information before we kick things off tonight, if you have any questions for our guest tonight, please text us at 520-329-2567, and we'll get those questions to you and answered.
Yes.
Real fast before I kick things off, Alex, we have a little guest audience out here tonight.
Really?
We do. I'm gonna point the camera at them. They can talk to the mic. I think they wanted to say like a couple of shout outs.
Oops. All right.
Let me be serious here.
Okay, guys. Hey, glad to see you guys watching us.
Thank you.
Continue to watch. We got good people on. Have fun, guys. Thank you.
Alex, we can pass it on to you, and you can finish the rest of the intro here.
All right. Okay. Before we get started, I got something in the mail. I just got this in the mail today. I have to congratulate Mr. Zachary Richard Samuel Kitzhaber, who's graduating in Oregon from North Eugene High School. He's graduating, and I gotta give him a shout out. Here's he and his mom. Love you. Congratulations. I don't have a picture of your brother Ben, so Ben, don't shoot me, but I just got this in the mail today, and I wish I had your picture to show you a picture. But congratulations, Ben. Have a great time. And also, there's a lady graduating in Los Angeles, Bianca Hunter. I wanted to say, God bless you and congratulations. So, got that out of the way now, folks. We have a show. I had to dress with my Buffalo Soldier stuff because he loves horses. We have stuntman, actor, horse extraordinaire, equestrian type of guy, been in the movie business for years, Mr. Tony Brubaker, man. Tony, how are you doing?
What's going on, buddy?
Fabulous so far, guys. Thank you. And congratulations to the high school graduates as well.
All right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So how you doing, kiddo? What's going on?
Like I say, like you, me and everybody else were dealing with the virus and trying to keep cool and wearing a mask and the gloves and trying to stay out of the way because we are of that age now. Target on our back for the virus, that is. So we just kind of playing it by ear, trying to stay close to the house. And when you do go out, I prep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Physically fine, nursing a torn rotator cuff that I'm going to probably have surgery in the next month or so. But I'm trying to duck surgery. I've had enough of those. But for right now, I just can't get the hiring right there. So, but I'm dealing with it. I've had bumps before, bump in the road.
Well, that's kind of the stuntman's badge, isn't it? The hurts and bruises, and that's the stuntman's business.
Is this something? It's part of the job, like
part of the job.
Football player, basketball guys, baseball guys. Everybody, you do physical stuff, you're gonna bang yourself up, and you can't lay down. Oh, my arm, oh, my leg. Oh, if somebody says you want to come to this job in Hawaii for a week, well, that shoulder's a lot better. It doesn't hurt. Or you cheat and kind of do it this way instead of
this way.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's like Kyle you guys getting little laryngitis. You just try to talk a little bit
now. So it's my understanding you guys went to school together, correct?
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. High school and
how do you guys get into going to school and then into the movies?
You know, if I can start that answer right there. I always wanted to act in school. Tony and I went to school together. I didn't know he was doing stunts. I never knew he was interested in. I didn't even know Tony was in the movie business. I'm in the movie business for 10 years. And I lost contact with Tony after high school. Didn't know he was in the movie business until I got on a film called Coffee with Pam Grier. That must have been early 80s or in the 70s or something, I think it was. And here's Tony on the movie, and I found out he was doing stunts in the movies. And we've been doing it ever since,
That's awesome. That's
Right.
awesome.
Right time for me after high school. I used to work at a stables. I was a riding instructor, as it were, a trail guide at
Mhm.
the park. And just the horse bug bit me, and that was it. I was in love with animals, in love with the horses,
Yeah.
and went from one spot to another, being around stunt kids and stuff. So I was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. That's a lot of it. Right place at right time.
How long have you been doing stunts?
I got my first stunt job was in 1968,
Ooh.
long before you were born.
Yes.
Long
Very
before
long before I was born. Very long.
you were born.
What was that first stunt, Tony? What did you do? The first stunt you ever did?
I was doubling an actor by the name of Otis Young on a show
Oh,
called,
know him well. Yeah.
he's passed on, unfortunately. Otis Young, Don Murray, and he already had a couple of guys. One was really a good horseman, but he couldn't do the picture fights. And the other one was really a good picture fight guy, but he couldn't ride a horse. So they said, well, wait a minute, why don't we have two guys, and is there one guy out there that can do both? Well, being around horses and stuff, there were a lot of stunt kids, their dads were in the business.
Mhm.
I know them, and one day a guy was going to show a friend of mine how to do a picture fight. He says, "Hey, Brew, you want to go? Want to watch?" Well, yeah, I didn't know what a stunt man was, but I'd gladly go. I think I was about 16, 17 years, maybe 16. And I was up on the fence, and he's showing my buddy Carl, who's passed on as well, how to throw picture punches, which I found super interesting, that you could put a camera and he would show him how the lens worked and how the punches worked and what you're supposed to do to make it work and look believable. And whatever he told Carl to do, I'd go home and I'd practice it. I didn't know doing it right or not, but I'd go home and practice anyway, just for the sake of doing it,
Do it. Yeah.
just for the sake of being there. And I'm saying, well, yeah, he's a Mickey. And so I was working with a guy by the name of Jack Levine, a wrangler in the business. And he said, Tony, they're looking for a guy that can you do a picture fight? And well, I said, well, maybe a little bit. I was exaggerating a lot, but with the horse stuff, okay, I'm going to talk to him, see if I can get you an interview with him. I said, okay, fine. I kind of forgot about it. About 3 weeks later, he called and said, you got an appointment over at Columbia Ranch. It's no longer there anymore, but the ranch is there, but Columbia isn't. And they had a couple of exec producers, a director, first assistant, and the second assistant was there, and the stunt coordinator was there. My buddy Jack was there, the boss wrangler, and the director said, Walt, who I still know, neighbor of mine, he said, well, I'll tell you what, Walt, take him over by the stage and do a little 10, 12 punch routine for us and come back and show us. Now I'm nervous now, but that's okay. So Walt took me around in the back and we went bump, 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 bump. Came back and said, all right, Walt, what do you got? So we went through the little thing and he said, what do you think? And Walt said, well, kid's a little rough, but we can work with him. It's not a major to do. Okay. I sneak by the rough one. Now I'm going to shine. So he said, Jack, what do you want to do his horse to show us what he can do on the horse? And Jack very proudly said, I don't care what you throw at this kid with a horse, he can do it. Don't. And so now what I wanted to show them, I already went by the scary fight stuff, the horse, I was going to shine. He said, no, Jack, if you believe it, good enough for us. Missed that shot. Didn't get to show horse nothing on that one. Did a little fight thing, I think it was, on the podcast, getting knocked out of a bar room and stuff. Really simple stuff. So that was back in 1968. And here we are in 2020, still doing it.
Oh, I only did stunts for a short time, but there were two stunts I always wanted to do that I never got to do before I went into acting and stopped doing stunts. Is there a stunt or any stunts that you wish you would have done? Or you've been in it so long, you've probably done them all. But are there any stunts you would have loved to have done that you haven't done?
I don't believe so, because
Right.
I've been very blessed in the respect that, being my size and African American, I
Mhm.
had to be able to do a little. You want a motorcycle? Yeah, well, I rode motorcycles, horses, no problem. Fights, no problem. Working with wild animals, the exposure to them was that. Just listen to the animal handlers, and you can get by that. Fights, little high falls and stuff. Everything that laying a motorcycle down, racing cars, turning cars over, a lot of that stuff it gets to be on the job training. We used to go and rent cars and go like to
Right.
road or big parking lot and slide them around, kind of square the tires a little bit. They
Yeah.
got that stuff too, made it against the law to do that. Can't do it anymore. But a lot of we just go out and practice and do. There was nothing that I really couldn't do.
Right.
Climbing, high falls, fights, wild animals. I've had to be able to do it all in
Right.
order to get over, and be considered a real good stunt guy. Kind of universal.
Yeah. But see, I only did stunts for about 3 years. I was doubling Ted Ross on this TV show, Magruder and Loud. But there were two stunts I've always wanted to do, and I'm afraid of heights. Okay, and I don't know why I wanted to do this, Tony, but I'm afraid of heights. I wanted to hang from a helicopter as it flies over the city. I don't know why. I'm afraid of heights. Never got to do that. And the other stunt I wanted to do, I wanted to be standing in front of a plate glass window with a pool on the other side of the plate glass window and get shot with a shotgun and blood flies out of my stomach and I'm blown through the plate glass window into the pool on the other side of the plate glass window. I always wanted to do that stunt and never got to do it.
The
But
helicopter one I did on the A team, hanging by with holding the guy below me and hanging on to the strut.
yeah,
Uh, Getting shot through the glass and stuff. Wasn't no pool on the other side, just cement. But the pool will catch you, cement will catch you too.
yeah,
I said,
yeah, it'll catch you.
ground will always catch you. Doesn't
Yeah,
refuse.
yeah. That's right. Because you double Mr. T on the A team, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think Kyle would know Mr. T. He's not
No,
old.
No.
18, 20
Yeah.
years.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Kyle
That's
was
good.
probably in diapers still walking around.
Yeah. I did a couple of hand inserts for Mr. T, but that was about as far as I got on that
But
end.
that works. It
Wow.
works. As long as you pay the bills. But now see,
Absolutely.
then we did something right there that I kind of shy away from, saying who I've doubled.
Mhm.
When I'm doubling those guys, I am those guys on.
Yes. Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
And I like people, and even if an actor says, yes, I do my own stunts.
Right.
Okay, you do your
Yeah.
own stunts. Bother me. Just the people at my bank know who I am. Nice fat check. Did you work again? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't need John Doe Public knowing.
Yeah.
If I said I worked on the 18, let them deduce. I did To Kill. Let them deduce what I did on the show.
Yeah.
To
Absolutely.
Fury, Predator 1, Predator 2. It's not really hard to say if there was only a couple of black guys on the show, I
Yeah.
must have been one of them or
Yeah.
two. So I get more of a kick out of all the guys that I have doubled. And
Right.
most of the guys back in the day when I got started were large men. There was 6 foot was almost short back
Right.
with the guys that I was doubling.
Because your job is to be anonymous.
Yes.
Yeah, that is it. That is it.
I tell
Because
I tell people all the time, well, who do I look like now? Well,
anybody they want you to be.
they want me to be,
Yeah.
in a van, on a horse, doing a high fall, hanging from a helicopter. You can't tell because you're looking at the action. You're not
Exactly.
who's really doing the action. You're looking at the action.
Yeah,
I'm with me.
I know what you mean. I actually photo double Mr. T as he was driving by the Palladium in the A team that it was with Rick James. The van is driving by the LA Palladium with Rick James' name, and that wasn't Mr. T driving it. I was driving the van, and I was supposed to be Mr. T.
All I saw was
Yeah, yeah. All they saw was a van. Absolutely.
Did you ever want to hang out with any of the actors you worked with?
no, really don't really want to do that because I've heard of horror stories of guys that hang out with actors, and if they were out having a drink or two, well, actors have egos. So
Yeah.
does stunt. And if they clash a little bit, for instance, if the actor and his stuntman are sitting at the bar and this really gorgeous lady walks by, and is the stunt guy, not the actor, you have a problem. Because if his ego is enormous, if he's married, don't, so be it. But if he's single like you, and he does care, well, then he's not going to like that very much. So
Right.
when I finish working with the actors and stuff, we'll have sometimes on the show, we have breakfast, lunch, and sometimes dinner. That's enough. I've never drank. I never drank. I don't do drugs. So I'm not saying that 99% of them do, but a lot of them do.
Yeah.
I don't drink. What am I going to what am I going to do at a bar? Have a 7-Up. I can have that in my room. So I don't know. I don't hang with actors. It's not a good practice.
I know what you mean. I don't drink either. I have always had this thing about drinking. When people say they in a bar and they find a woman they fall in love with in a bar and say they get married or hang out, and she wants to drink every night and get drunk, what can you say? You found her in a bar. So if she wants to go there every night, what can you say? So yeah, I don't drink myself.
You don't need, there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
Has there been any stunt you've questioned doing?
Question.
Yeah, like hesitant about it and saying, "Do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this?"
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But if you get a chance to rehearse them, like there was a show we did, and there was like 3 or 4 of us. We had to roll between the front set of wheels and the back set of wheels, 125 foot up on a trestle. And as the train is driving by, we were prisoners back in the period picture. We had to roll under the train and hook and get pulled up on the train. Impossible to do, but motion picture. In and of itself, can get you in trouble if you don't do it correctly.
Yeah.
You roll and hit the wheel and then roll backwards. That's 125 foot. That's a ticket. You ain't here no more. Or if you get 3/4 under the train, leave something on the track. The train doesn't care. The train owns leg or shoulder, hip, half body, head, whatever. It'll run you over. So anything that can that you really want to consider, every which way, what could happen, how you can set it up so you can get by it. But there's been several of those that I've dealt with. That was one of the more serious ones. But anything that can kill you is bad. It's a one you question.
Yeah.
Sure.
But your ability will get you by. If it in your mind, once you commit to go, you've got to commit to go. And if you half step, that's what gets you in trouble. Although there are always accidents.
Yeah.
Fall, bad spot, didn't get far enough, jumped too far. There have been several folks that have died in the industry, but not falling far enough to the pad, falling too far past the pad. If you hit the ground from 20, 30, 40 foot, it's usually a good night, Irene. And unfortunately, some of my buds have done that,
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. you go too far off, you have definitely boogered up your life.
Oh yeah, if you have a
Yes, indeed, for sure. Absolutely, man.
How many bones have you broken during this whole job?
I tell you what, it's really odd. More so than I shattered my right ankle on a show called Rollerball with James Caan over in Munich, Germany. That was a pretty bad break on that one. That cost me a couple operations and plates and screws. But most of the time, you like this rotator cuff. I've got 2 screws here, 2 screws there, where they got patched up. Everything was going good, and I re-injured it this past December, and re-injured the re-injury.
Oh, ow.
That's why I'm sporting it now, not knowing which way it's up. So just the one break, hyperextensions on the knee, hitting walls real hard, wound up in on a John Landis show, Into the Night, LAX. I got shotgunned at a brick wall and what we call a ratchet. It's a vest you put on, it put a wire on your middle of your back, and it put a little hole in the wall, and it's hooked to a ram, an air ram in the back. And when they set that air ram off, 200-300 pounds, whatever, you leave your feet. And if you want to put 5 feet or 25 foot, you just crank the air up a little bit more.
Yeah.
I had this practical gun in my hand, and the bad guy was coming up this hallway. I was going to, maybe it was a police officer, I don't remember. And I went to shoot him, and he turned and shotgunned me. They ratcheted me into the wall, knocked me totally out. And out for maybe 30, 40 seconds, but when I came to, the blood pack that they had on me, which blew up, my hand was hurting, and my mind said, "You're hurt, you're bleeding, your hand's hurting. Tony, you're okay? How did it?" And first thing I said, "Well, how did it look?" "Fabulous." Okay, well, like, I don't know. I guess my hand's hurting. Right to the hospital we went. I broke a bone in that, but it's a little bone in your hand. Fingers and toes don't count. But for the most part, you don't normally break. You tear, wrench, sprain, and get yourself in a bad way.
Right. So do you have any advice for somebody who wants to go into stunts? Do you know these young kids, they're hot doggers, that looks like a great job. But somebody wants to go into stunts. Is there anything you want to tell them? What would you tell the young guys?
Yeah, and several young guys have asked me if they see me on the set or know what that I do to come by the association office and want to sit and talk to everybody as long as they want to talk. I would suggest with this, you go a lot further with this than this.
Yes.
God forbid, like there was a girl that got in the business, her first day in the business, riding a motorcycle, downstairs, first day. Dead. No coming back. Dead. Accident. God forbid you get on that first show and you're not confident enough and you break your back, you break your neck, you rent something, because you're going to hurt yourself. And when you're the new kid on the block, this one stuff normally happens. I try to steer them in something like you and Kyle are doing. Work with the camera, be a producer, be a director, be a sound person like Eric. Anything but doing stunts. But it's always that excitement that they crave. Oh man, that looks so exciting. Yes, it is. It's very exciting. You get to travel around all over the world, meet very interesting people, some not so interesting, have fun, bang yourself up. Like I've been all over the world and happy and blessed every day that I was. Yeah. And here I am now. I look back now, knowing what I know now, I would try to become a cameraman or a sound man.
Right.
I steer them in that direction.
Right.
They usually don't want to hear it, but
yeah. Yeah, especially if people that really want to do it.
Yeah, if you want to do it, fine. I tell you, come in with a skill that you're better than 99% of the people. Are you a good gymnast? That will get you a long ways because you've got pretty good body control. If you're a motorcyclist, wonderful, because most people aren't. If you're a cowboy, that helps, but how many Westerns are they doing today?
Right.
Exactly.
Really a good car man, sharpen that skill, because there's a lot of guys out there that can do it. Guys come off the racetrack that can do it. Car control, look at all the Too Fast, Too Furious, 6, 8, 9, 10 of them, whatever. Total, these guys that drift, these are not stunt guys. These guys that do this for fun. That is something that'll get you across in the business. If you can drift like that, car control, motorcycle control. These guys that stand up on the back wheel, wheeling for half a mile, that gets you into business. Well, my dad used to work at a motorcycle shop and he used to ride all the time. That won't get you in. No, it won't work.
Yeah.
What is there any humorous bloopers throughout your lifetime that you have or know about?
Bloopers?
Yeah, like humorous things that happened on the job.
I'm wondering about, not so much, because if it's a blooper, you usually have messed up some kind of way.
Yeah.
Ran into a wall. Well, I was doing the Mission Impossible, and Greg Morris, they were controlling his mind to make him a killer, and they had him in a chair, and they keep putting his face in front of him, and the director just wanted him to run into this wall.
Sure.
Guys, he wants me to hit this wall. If it's pretty good, reinforced, yeah, it's good, Tony, all right. They said action, and my action was just to get up and run to that wall. And the time I got to the wall, well, you don't want to hit it like this because this racks you. So the time you turn a little bit so you can get this and keep that going and hit it, the wall moved.
Ooh.
Wasn't funny to me because I hit the wall hard.
Yeah.
Just in the camera said, oh, I saw the wall move. Well, that means I have to do it again.
Ooh.
Yeah.
A blooper, but it wasn't a blooper for me. And the next time I put it up there, they reinforced it. It was like cement. The director was happy. I was sore, but it worked. It's just one of those things that kind of happens. So usually it's not so much a blooper because they want it to look real and realistic, and unless something falls in the background. But usually, if something falls in the background, I got to do it again. It bangs you. Falling on the ground, people say, does that hurt? Well, absolutely. Well, don't you have pads and stuff? Yeah. Well, tell you what, put a pillow in front of your face and let me punch the pillow. And it hurts or not? Well, yeah, it's going to hurt. There you go. I've got pads on, but it still hurts. But you just got to man up and get the job done. Try to do it perfect the first time. Make sure you understand what the coordinator wants, what the director wants, and try to do it exactly that way. You might not have to do it a second or third time.
Yeah. Well,
Is there? Go ahead, Alex. I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah. Okay. I was just going to ask, being in the business, I pretty much know the answer to this, but I don't know what everyone else does. It might be different in stunts. What's the difference between then and now? I mean, what it was kind of hard for you to get in, or how is that different from today?
But today it's a lot more open because things are a lot better for minorities.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I got in, there weren't very many African-American actors doing shows. There were a few. So there wasn't a big call for stunt guys. And what they used to do back in the day, and they don't do it anymore, they would paint a white guy and paint him and make him black.
Yes.
Which was totally wrong.
Yeah.
But this is, well, they weren't into black stunt guys, so we have to do what you got to do. It's a black actor. Hey, I understand. But now I'm here, and they said, well, some of the guys that really weren't right in the head, so to speak, would say, well, you're taking our jobs. Wait a minute. When do we have a job? You weren't born a stunt man, and neither was I, but you learned and I learned. So after a bunch of meetings and stuff and going round and around and around, we got them to the point where they're okay, fine. The black actors, you can double them because the guys were doubling women, blacks, Indians.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. It was guy that looks like Kyle was doubling everybody.
Yes. Put a wig on him and it's a woman.
The wig, it's one way, but the dress, no problem. But then again, that all that stuff came. It slowed down. Every so often today, they'll still try to sneak and do it.
Yeah.
That can be very problematic for the production
Exactly.
company. So they try to do it as it should be done.
And you know, and you can tell me wrong if I'm wrong, Tony, but I mean, right now it's all CGI. You know, is it now with CGI? Is that what they're putting into stunts like it was back then?
Well, the CGI, we didn't have that back in the day. We obviously just have that now. Anything that they want to do that they could put on the green screen, and they could have, like they had Superman, the one that was paralyzed, they had him walking across the stage. And all they did was took the actor's head off, whoever it was, and put Superman's head on as if he were walking. That's a legit deal. That's no ifs, but that's fine with me. But if it's an African American, if it's an American Indian or Hindu or Buddhist, anybody that's of that nationality can, in my mind, can double, because there's a lot of guys out there now that can double. A Caucasian double a Caucasian, female, African, Mexican. I have no problem. That's fine. But when people, try to duck and dodge and say, well, ain't nobody looking, no. Because the script was written, they knew that they were going to have this Mexican guy get drugged by a horse. Well, you should have a stunt guy there, because I know there's Mexican stunt guys out there that can ride horses and be drugged by a horse and do stunts. So let's try to do it the right way. And for the most part, I say most part, it's that way today. They'll try to do it the most part. And you talk about the CGI, back in the day when we would come down the building on a wire, they had to try to get us in the corner of the building where the wire could disappear in that corner of the building. You really couldn't see it too well, but then on film, you'd have to go through and erase each piece of film with that wire that they could see that wire. Well, today, CGI, you can see all the wires you want on the flash.
We'll take it out.
Go right to the end, delete, click, 1,000 foot of rope gone.
Yes.
You never see it, which is fine. That's just progress, is all that is.
Exactly.
So they don't have a car rolling over 15, 20 times. Well, nobody can live through that.
Right.
But they have it. They have it. We just come to the program.
Yeah. I understand you were talking about painting down white guys to double black actors. I understand that's how the Black Stuntmen's Association was created. This is the way I get the story. Eddie Smith, who we both know, Eddie Smith, I think he was on the show, I believe it was It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. And he noticed the director was painting down a white actor to double for Rochester Anderson. And so Eddie Smith went to the director, because Eddie Smith, he was boisterous about things he didn't like. And he went to the director and said, hey, wait a minute, why are you painting down this white stuntman to double for Eddie Rochester Anderson, a black man? And he said, Eddie Smith's mouth. He said, give me a black stuntman and I'll hire him. Whoa. And so Eddie went, wait a minute, there wasn't any black stuntmen at that time. So I understand Eddie Smith went home, got the guys in the neighborhood, and started practicing in stunts and everything. And that's what started the Black Stuntmen's Association. They were forced to.
And it's still going on today, correct?
They're not as active, because most of the guys that were the original guys aren't around anymore, but there's still a few guys that are BSA members that are still about, which I was. I was. But I would say right now, if there's 5 or 10, that'd be a lot.
There's Alex Brown. I'm trying to think of some names.
But
Alex Brown is Greg Elam. I don't know if Greg Elam was like Alex Brown, Greg Elam.
I say Greg, the guys that he did a lot to help the African American kids, stunt guys, girls. The business and help them and
Henry Kenji, he's around.
Henry Kendrick, very, very good stunt man. Most guys couldn't carry Henry's stunt bag, but that's right.
Right. Yeah.
Rare, rare guys. Alan Alling. There's guys, Richard Washington, Bob Miner.
There you go. Those are the names, right.
But most of the guys that are of that age aren't doing stunts. I think Henry's still pretty active, but most of the probably 95% of the stuff he does is car stuff. He's a hell of a car. You can do that till you're 90 years old. That's what I'm saying. You tell guys to do something they do for a long time. But there aren't that many guys that are of the age that are still out there hitting the ground. There are those. I don't know most of the young guys today because I'm so removed from the business, but there's still a bunch of good guys out there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't last very long. There was another Marvin Walters was another guy. Marvin, I think lives in Texas or somewhere now, but I haven't seen Marvin. I don't see most of the guys because I live here and they live there, and the guys are scattered all over the place, and most of the guys are retired because they're old. And the body says, "Oh yeah, I can do that," and the mind says, "Yeah, go ahead and try it. Yeah, and see what happens." The body will the mind says, back in the day, I was really this kind of a guy. Yeah, you go out there and hit that ground one time, but to pick you up.
And
have another one in you.
There's a question, and it's kind of goes off to kind of in the movies and about Hollywood. Is Hollywood gonna be the same with movies and stuff after this pandemic is over? Is the studio still looking, or are they gonna start touring other cities for it?
No, I do. There's always going to be a Hollywood because there's always going to be that up and coming actor, and the people like to be entertained.
Yes,
and they will be entertained. There are producers, there are directors, there are stars, there's writers, the sitcoms, Friends and stuff like that. That people are going to want. Oh, Hollywood's going to be the same. It'll come back. It's lived all the other pandemics, as it were, for lack of a better word. But so they'll be back. They'll be back.
Yeah, I think it's going to be it's not going to be exactly the same. Things are going to change, but it'll be back.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's definitely will be back.
I look at from film to video to it's changed already from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We're in 2020 now, and nothing's the same motion picture wise as it was back when I got into business. And they weren't even cell phones, no such animal.
Right.
I got into business, there weren't even beepers. I mean,
reapers. Yes, reapers.
Beepers. They used to add flags and stuff and cut. When they said quiet, we're rolling, you almost had to stop breathing. You couldn't ride a bicycle around the lot because it made noise. Nowadays, they see a red light, everybody keeps doing what they're doing, unless you're making an unusually loud noise with a loud vehicle. They just, okay, we got to do it again and do it again. It's cheap now.
Yeah.
Delete, do it again. Delete, do it.
Yeah.
Cheap. It's cheap now.
Even the technology, even the terminology has changed. Because I don't know if you remember, but back in the John Wayne days, they would never say they were doing a movie. They would say, yeah, well, I did a picture with Howard Hawks, and I did a picture with, it wasn't I did a movie with, I'm doing a film with, or I'm shooting a movie, or I'm shooting this. It's I did a picture with, that was the terminology.
Yeah, terminology has changed. Look at what has changed from then to now to tomorrow. What they're going to be saying, it won't even sound like English.
Yeah, it'll be I did a CGI with kind of thing.
We did a little quick. We did a little short. Short what? Who was short? What was it? No, it was a short movie. We didn't have shorts back in the day.
No.
You did commercial. You did television. That was it.
That was it. Yeah. Yeah.
Our documentaries periodically. But now they got everything going, and they do shorts that are award-winning shorts, and movies and documentaries that are award-winning. So like I said,
Animation, yeah.
yeah, it's different. It's different. It's different.
Yeah.
I'm glad I heard today.
Because even back in the day, this was back in the late 80s, early 90s. When I was acting at my prime back then, they were talking about possibly getting rid of actors and doing them on the computer. They were talking about there was going to come a time when they aren't going to need actors anymore. And that day is almost here. You can do a movie with a computer. As a matter of fact, I was on the internet one time, and I was scrolling through these pictures. I was scrolling through some pictures on the internet. I don't know where it was, what site I was on, but I was scrolling and I saw this beautiful woman, and I had to go back and I said, "Oh, who was this woman?" I'm thinking she's doing a video where she's talking about a new movie she's going to be in, and I said, "I want to go see this movie." So I was going through the pictures and I saw she was so gorgeous. I had to go back and look at her. Right? I looked at it and I clicked on it because it was a video. As the video started playing, there was this gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous woman, and she's on the video saying, "Hi, my name is Abby. I'm a robot." This woman was a robot.
Yeah.
And I'm going, see, now if this woman was on the street and she would let me talk to her, I mean, I would be caught, so to speak. She was gorgeous. I mean, this is the technology we're in now. Where
Sounds like a spam call there, Alex. A robot talking to a pretty girl. Sounds like a spam.
Yeah, well, she was that gorgeous, and she was a robot.
You know, they can walk an actor to a car, get him in the car, and have him drive away. The rest of it can be CGI, nothing computer stuff, and there's nobody. That's just what this is gone. It's progress. You can't stop it. You can't.
And some of the stuff they have that we don't even know they have. You know, it's amazing. Yeah, you know, I'm almost glad that I was in the business when we were in it and for so long, and because I think my time is out. I think our time is out for the movies because it's changed so much. Back in the day, I've written some things I wanted to direct. As a matter of fact, I think I gave you a script about my Black murder mystery we were going to talk about doing, but I wanted to direct that. But now I wouldn't even try to direct a film now. Mm-hmm. It's just too advanced now.
Yeah, it's a young business. You know, you just kind of got to know your limit, your time. Well, we've reached the limit. That's it. Sit back and enjoy life.
Exactly. We're on the back end. It's time to kick back.
Which is what we're doing.
Yeah. Leave it to the Kyles of the world.
That's where it's going. It's his work. I appreciate it. It's fun to sit up and watch what they do.
Absolutely.
Now, you know, since you're retired and since, you know, you're kind of done with the whole movies and stunt business, if you weren't going into stunts, would there be something else that you would go into besides stunts?
Oh, yeah, I would do sound. I'd be a sound man, like I was saying, or camera. Try to produce, but because I'm very physical, the camera would be wonderful. The camera department would be fun. Secondary would be sound. I know some really good sound guys, because you can't have a movie without those two. You've got to have a sound. To see face with no sound doesn't work. To see sound with no face doesn't work. But even see, you've got to have that human being, and you've got to be able to hear him.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, speaking of sound, I gotta give a shout out to, I don't know if he's still doing sound, but I know part of his team he was doing sound with has passed away, Marvin Lewis. But Willie Burton and Marvin Lewis.
Yes.
Were They were the sound people. And Willie Burton actually won an Oscar for was it with the film with William Hurt, United States or Altered States. He won an Academy Award for Best Sound in Altered States.
Fabulous sound guys. They were absolutely.
Yeah, Willie Burton and Marvin Lewis worked with them a lot. They did Dreamgirls. They was on. They did War Games. I was working on.
It was somebody like that. You were home free, but you have to keep this closed and these open. You got two of these. Shut this one and open these up, and you'll go really far in the business. If you want, if somebody's there to help you.
Yep, absolutely. But every time I think sound, I always think Willie Burton and Marvin Lewis, man. They were the best, man.
Best guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Kyle, if you were in the movie business, what would you do? I mean, everybody wants to be in the movies. What would you do in the movies if you were in the movies?
You know, and that's a very good question. I'm not much of an actor besides musical theater, so I don't know if I would be an actor for it. I don't know. I'd probably film. You know, I probably said this before, but you know, I've gone to the camera work. I just picked up a camera and started filming myself. You know,
Camera stuff is good. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it is. It is a great life to have.
yeah. So that's how I kind of got in that whole genre of things, and then sound. I mean, I don't know. That's definitely an interesting question because I don't really know. I haven't really thought about it.
Yeah.
Keep doing whatever it is you're doing. Keep doing it. You're okay.
Yeah. Was it in the movie business? I don't think people realize how lucrative and how much fun the movie business is. And I think people don't think, well, oh, that's the movies. That's too much. I can't do it. I'm just a regular guy and I can't be in the movies. But that's who's in the movies, regular people. The actors are regular people. They're, you know, and you can move up a lot because there was a guy I used to do extra work with when I first started. I did extra work back in the day, in the 70s and 80s, and there was a guy that did extra work named Keith Moore, who he went in the camera, and he became one of the best camera guys in the business. Yeah. Keith Moore. And then I worked with this one camera guy, Casey Hotchkiss on 10th Street and Brown Shoe. They went on to different things, and it's a business that's a lot of fun, and a lot of people don't think they can be in it. They think that the movie business is so far beyond their reach, and we're just normal people like everybody else. We just work at a fun. I can't call it a job. We just have fun in our employment. That's it.
You're getting paid for it.
Yes.
Like doctors, lawyers, and policemen.
Yes.
Something that you want to do. Simple as that.
And they pay you for it.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's unbelievable, actually, but it's so true. And when we were going to Fremont and high school and stuff, they never told us there was a business like this.
No, if it's for you, you'll find it.
Yeah, right.
It's for
That's
you,
right.
you will find it. I didn't know as much as I did in John Muir Junior High School. I had no idea. I learned, and it was fun. And then I just went to high school and to my adult life. And here I am, older.
Yeah.
And I'm still around the horses.
Right.
It's enjoyable. Which reminds me, I've got to go feed one pretty quick.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, I was about to say, do you have any more questions for Tony here?
I think Tony is quite fascinating. I could talk to him all night and day. So, I'm okay for now. If you have any more questions there,
Call me anytime you want.
Q&A or.
I think I'm out of them. I've checked all platforms here. We don't really have any more comments, so I think we're set. Tony, I appreciate you giving us a second try here tonight.
Oh, absolutely, Tony.
Much fun as the first time.
Yes.
What's today? Friday. What were we gonna say?
No, I'm just saying, I was just gonna say how fascinating it is to talk to Tony. I mean, you know, I've been knowing him for years and don't get to do this very much. We haven't done this in a lot in the 50 some years I've been knowing him, you know. So hey man, this really a fun treat for me, man. You know.
True. Kyle, thank you guys. It was
Yeah.
fun doing it.
No, thank you.
Hey, God bless you, man.
Thank you.
Monday night on Live with Kyle and Alex, we have America's favorite cowboy, Andre McLean. He's got a story to tell, from the rodeo to, you know, life on the road to, you know, being a cowboy. So come back here on Monday on Live with Kyle and Alex at 7:00 p.m. Mountain Time, Arizona time, or whatever cross country you are, Arizona, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or not Twitter, Periscope, and Twitch.
Yes.
And make sure you subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Appreciate it.